we're going to be learning about one of my favorite artists named Alma Woodsey Thomas. But before we get started, let's do our mantra. You ready? Let's go. I am positive, I am creative, I am mindful, I am amazing, and I am an artist. Now, before we get started, I want to let my students at home know that we're going to be working on this project for 2 weeks. That means you can watch back this video next week too, since you're going to have 2 weeks to work on this project. The students who are doing this project at school are going to be working on it this week and next week. So if you don't finish it today, because it takes a little bit of time, don't worry about it. You can finish it during art time next week. So you don't have to send me a picture of your completed assignment until 2 weeks from now, okay? So before we get started on our project, let's learn about our amazing artist, Alma Woodsey Thomas.
Alma Woodsey Thomas was born in 1891 in Ohio. She was an artist and an art teacher who is most well known for her colorful, abstract paintings. She was the first Black woman to get a degree in fine arts in the entire United States. She was also the first Black woman to have a solo show at the Whitney Museum of Art in New York City. Pretty impressive. Her art is in museums around the world, including hanging in the White House in Washington, D.C. She was a groundbreaking artist who helped open the door for other women artists and Black women. She never let anyone tell her what she could or couldn't do. What do you notice about her artwork? Do you notice that she uses big brushstrokes to make it look like her paintings are full of lots of different little pieces? She also uses lots of bright colors, and circles are very popular in her artwork.
Don't you love her artwork? I know I do. Are you ready to get started on a project to make art just like Alma Woodsey Thomas? Alrighty, let's get started.
For this project, we're going to start by planning. Grab your sketchbook, your art journal, or a blank sheet of paper, and we're going to plan out some possible compositions for our artwork. Compositions mean the different layouts that our artwork can take. Alma Woodsey Thomas made circles, stripes, and other compositions in her artwork. I want you to plan at least 3 different possible compositions for your artwork. They could be vertical or horizontal. Make sure that your compositions are abstract. That means they don't have anything realistic or like real life in them. Use a combination of circles and stripes to look more like Alma Woodsey Thomas's artwork. Once you've planned at least 3 different possible compositions for how your artwork can look, pick the one that you like the most to do on a big sheet of paper. If you finish early, you can go back and do 2 or even 3 different artworks that you've planned, but you only have to do 1. Once you're done planning, you're going to need some colored paper. I cut mine into tiny squares already, but you don't have to. A piece of scissor, some glue, a glue stick or wet glue. Go back, look at the reference of what you planned, and then start by cutting your paper to make any bigger shapes that you might have in your composition. My composition had a big circle, so I'm going to start by cutting out that big circle and putting it right in the middle. If you have a different composition, yours might look different than mine. This is just one idea inspired by Alma Woodsey Thomas. Once you've cut out any big pieces you might need for your composition, like my big circle in the middle, I want you to start cutting your colored paper into tiny little pieces. These tiny little pieces are supposed to look like the big brush strokes in Alma Woodsey Thomas's artwork. They almost look like a mosaic of tiny little pieces put together. I'm cutting my strips into tiny little squares and rectangles. If you don't have a scissor, or if you just like the look of it more, you can also tear your pieces instead of cutting them. You can tear them into tiny little squares and rectangles just using your hands. Tearing or cutting works, you choose. Now get your glue stick and start gluing down your little pieces to make your composition. I'm going to make lines of circles going around my bigger circle. I'm making sure to press each piece down after I glue it to make sure it really sticks to the paper and it won't come off. This technique of cutting and gluing paper is called collage. Even though Alma Woodsey Thomas was a painter and not a collage artist, our collages look a lot like Alma Woodsey Thomas's brush strokes that look like lots of different little pieces put together. Make sure to use lots of different bright colors. You can cut or tear the paper, whichever one you prefer to do. Just make sure that you are using lots of different colors, just like Alma Woodsey Thomas. Keep going until your entire paper gets filled up. You don't want to leave any corners or white space on your paper besides the white space in between your little paper pieces. Keep going until you fill up every inch of the paper with lots of little colored papers. Keep going until your whole paper is filled up and your composition is completed. This project should take you 2 weeks to complete 2 art classes. If you finish early, you can make a second composition. Just look back at your planning ideas and pick a different composition.
I can't wait to see how your artwork turns out. And remember, for my students at home, this project is going on for 2 weeks. So if you didn't finish today, don't worry. Next week, you can come back to this same video, watch the parts that maybe you forgot, and then keep working on your project. So you have 2 weeks to send me your final Alma Woodsey Thomas artwork. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.